Come on in. I'm so glad you guys came tonight. We're having a few friends and family over for appetizers, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you how to make one of my favorite appetizers, which is crab rangoon. I'm sure you've all been to the Chinese food restaurant and had that cute little appetizer that was fried and filled with crab meat and cream cheese. Well, that's what I'm fixing tonight. I started making this recipe clear back in high school, and it is truly a tried and true recipe that I have worked with over the years to perfect and present to you tonight. I think the best way and easiest way for everybody to make this. So let's get started. We're going to use Philadelphia cream cheese, crab meat, a little onion powder, garlic powder, a dash of salt, and a dash of hot sauce. So let's begin. We're going to start with our Philadelphia cream cheese. It's room temperature. If you forget to sit your cream cheese out, you can always stick it in the microwave on high for about 20 to 30 seconds, and that'll soften it up real nice. There's our cream cheese, and now we're going to put in our can of crab meat. Get my measuring spoons. We're going to add 1/4 of a cup of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Don't add 1/4 of a cup, that would be really bad. 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, a dash of salt, and a couple of dashes of hot sauce. Just gives it a little kick and doesn't really make it spicy. Just adds that little flavor in the background that makes you go, what is that? I'm going to mix it up really good. We've got our crab meat and our cream cheese all mixed up, and we're just going to sit that to the side. And we're going to use wonton wrappers, which you can buy in the grocery store. They're usually in the produce section. They look like this. These are the square ones, and they're called wonton wrappers. They also make them in a round version, and they're called pot sticker wrappers, but they're the same thing, and you can use either one works. Another thing that you can do if you want is you can use cookie cutters and cut them in cute little shapes like this, and I've done this in a scalloped edge. Okay, now we're going to put our wrappers into a mini muffin pan, which I'm going to spray with cooking spray. And after we put the wonton wrappers in here, we're going to spray it again, and that'll keep them from sticking. So now we're going to get our wonton wrappers, and just work with a few at a time because they can dry out a little bit. And we're just going to take these and we're going to put them in our little mini muffin pan. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of push them down in there, and they'll kind of fold up on the corners, and they look kind of cute that way. Now, if you have this little gadget, it makes it really easy. You put the wonton wrapper over it, and you just give it a little zhuzh, and that kind of pushes it down and makes a cute little thing. I'm the gadget queen. I just love kitchen gadgets. Some women like shoes. I like kitchen gadgets. We're going to fill each one of these little squares with our wonton wrappers, and we're just going to push them down in there. And I was going to tell you that when I first started making these years ago, it was disastrous, because I would try to fold them like they did in the restaurant, and all the filling would fall out, and it would pop all over the place, and just make a terrible mess. And I absolutely hated frying things. And then as years went on, I would try again because I think, oh, I can do this. Okay, now we've got all of our cute little wontons in our mini muffin pan. We're just going to spray these one more time across the top with some cooking spray. Get them really good, and we're going to put them in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 10 minutes, and we just want to get them lightly toasted. We're not going to finish them yet, because then we're going to bring them back out, we're going to fill them with our cream cheese mixture, and then we'll put them in for a final touch. Now they're all brown, and they're not quite done yet. They've just started to brown on the edges. That's the way we want them. So now we're going to fill them with our cream cheese mixture. and I was going to show you how I used to do these, or if you wanted to do them this way so that you could fry them, then we put about a small teaspoonful of mixture in our wonton wrapper, and then we're going to fold them just like a little boat, okay? You can see how I'm pinching up these corners, and you just want to bring that into the center. And it takes a little practice, it takes a little getting used to, but basically all of these little pockets right here are open, and then when you put them in the fryer, when you put them in the hot oil, it just makes them float and they don't pop as bad and spray all the stuff out. So that's the way we want them to look. Okay, so now we're just going to fill our wonton cups with our cream cheese and crab meat mixture. And don't worry if they don't go all the way down in there, it's okay. You're just going to drop a little teaspoonful on the top of each wonton cup. And as it warms and heats in the oven, it's going to sink down into each of our little cups. And if they fold it in on the side, it's okay. It's not going to hurt a thing. They're going to taste just as yummy either way. Okay, so now we've got our wonton cups filled. And we could probably do another half of a pan or so with this mixture. You can always double the recipe and use all of your wonton wrappers if you want. So now those are done, and we're going to put them back in the oven. Again, leave it on 400 degrees, probably for another 5 minutes. Apricot preserves. We're going to need these later. So here's our crab wontons out of the oven. They're brown and they're hot and they're bubbly, and we're going to make our sauce. And what I have here is some apricot preserves and a little chili sauce, sweet chili sauce. You can find this in the Asian section of any grocery store. This was called just sweet chili sauce. It's going to add a little bit of heat, kick it up a notch to this sauce. If you don't want it spicy, you can certainly use apricot preserves. Warm it up in the microwave with a little water to thin it out a little bit. But I kind of like the heat of this sauce. And we're just going to pour it in, and we're going to stir it together. So let me just mix this up. And this is kind of like a sweet and sour sauce at this point. And when you're in the restaurant, you know, they serve sweet and sour sauce on the side with your crab wontons, and so this is kind of the same thing. But instead of everybody having to dip theirs or serve a sauce on the side, I'm going to put just a little bit on each one of these. So here's our divine crab rangoon, and I'm Donna Johnson. Thanks so much for coming. Let's party. They're wonderful. Bye.